Alright guys, and welcome back today. I'm going to talk about something a little different. Stocks that I'm going into, stocks that I've been playing with, and I've been doing with in general. So most people know, if you know me, I'm very conservative on how I do my stocks. I don't do a lot of day trading, I don't do calls, puts, I don't do any of that. But I am into the car market. I started off with Tesla, and everyone told me not to buy it, and that ended up being a really good gold mine. I went into NIO as well, which is another Chinese car electric manufacturer. They're a little bit more on the high end in China, and I bought in at $3, and it ended up doing really, really well for me. I'm a little late to this newer one that I wanted to get into today. It's called Xpeng, and it's another Chinese car manufacturer. They've had a little bit of a bad reputation kind of with their cars and their software, from one of the Tesla lead engineers supposedly quitting, taking the source code for the autopilot over to Xpeng, which that employee has now been terminated from there. And of course they say there was no proof that the source code made it over to them, but nonetheless they are actually doing really well when it comes to autopilot and how they're doing in their future. So that led me to want to get into selling some of my longer position stocks. Allegiant and JetBlue, they both seem to be at the peak back to where they once were before pandemic. So I sold those just to buy some stock today, and it wasn't very much that I actually did buy, but I wanted to get into this a little bit about the car, and I've done some research on it, and that's what made me want to actually buy it. So when we go over to their website, we can see that their cars are really nice. Let's click on some of them. Well, let's actually go for the P7 for this whole entire one, because we want to go for the P7. P7 is the one I did the most research on. It's a really, really nice car. Looks good. I've checked the mileage and the range. This is different than Tesla. So Tesla does not use LiDAR, and this company does use LiDAR. So when they say they stole the source code, I take that with a grain of salt to a degree. So if they did steal it, that's cool, but they're using completely different technology. Tesla does not use LiDAR at all. They use internal cameras, and they use neural networking to get their cars, to basically visually see like they're humans. So you can see these cars are very appealing. They look good. They test drive really well. Some people call them the cheap Chinese knockoff of the Tesla. But in general, I think these cars look good, they perform well, they have a really good autopilot feature, and really good ratings. So I want to get into a little bit of the mileage here with this car. As we go up to the top, we'll get to the specs page here. We'll click on the specs, and as you see, even with their rear-wheel drive, you can scroll down, and it says the max speed, which, I mean, that's ridiculous. Only a 60 kilowatt hour battery, which is okay. 480 kilometers of range, which is 290 miles, which is pretty much close to 300 where the Model X is, and a few of the others, not too far off. As we go up to the long range rear-wheel drive, the kilowatt hour battery goes up to 70. That also gives us a new range of 586, which is 368 miles. That's dead on par with Tesla in almost every way. And then when we go into the super long range, which is a little bit unnecessary, once you start getting this high, I don't know anyone who needs to not charge this long, but some people like the longer charge. It gives you an 80 kilowatt hour battery, almost an 81, and your range for this, I did not go with the 706. I went with the more conservative 670. That still comes out to 416 roughly miles that you'll get on a full charge. Their charge times are really good, if that's actually true. I have not been able to see one of these test out. Their other specs are really good as well too. But going back to the car, it's a really nice looking car. Their autopilot's about to kick up even more. They're going to come out with a newer, lower priced version of their car as well too, and they're going to try to get into the emerging market over here in the United States. I think they're getting into some of the foreign European markets. But if they can get into the United States, I think they would destroy the game if they can beat Tesla to the under $35,000 electric car and actually look good. As of right now, this car out the door, the standard model and the standard range is $35,000, almost $36,000 American. So at this current rate, I do not think they're going to beat Tesla, but I think this could be a good investment to get into, and this is not stock advice for anybody, but for myself to get into and see if they do potentially start hitting the 40s and the 50s. I mean, I could lose, $1,300 that I put into it today, and but I could be like Neo, where I make a ton of money off Neo, a few $1,000s, and then come back and reinvest it all again. I'm still holding on to Neo. I don't want to give up on that company. I think they still have a long future ahead of them. Tesla, of course, is going to go far as soon as their truck comes out. Xpeng, I'm going to keep watching and keep trying to get some news releases on them and seeing how they do, but for now, I'm watching Xpeng. I just reinvested Xpeng. I sold some of my airlines, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to even try to get into the world of crypto and talk about that here, but yeah, guys, let's see what I want to invest in next. I'll see you back around.